And together with BEMS, you know, I think that you have BEMS here too, who do covers for IKEA sofas. They're going to do things for this from the very beginning. And we appreciate it within IKEA, because that would make things more diverse and would make it possible for people to be unique, still buying IKEA products. And actually now, we started out as a sofa. The beginning of it was not a sofa, it was a bed turned into a sofa. Now, it's going to be all the way around. So for next year, you're going to see an even bigger dialactic, and that's going to be a two-person bed as well. And it's behind the scenes here. And I'm glad to say also, for the first time in history, IKEA has achieved to do a sofa and hopefully even the bed. It's going to be approved for public use all over Europe. So it's a quality standard that we have never been close to before. So that's a great thing. Then, I brought some friends here today, which is good, soon to be on stage. We're curious about mass-produced uniqueness. Could we tweak this thing about mass production and make unique pieces out of it? And this is industrial, and we're going to talk about it later. It's done together with Piet from the Netherlands, who's here too, where we have looked into how to use handicraft techniques for molds and so on, and tweak that into mass production, and what's the meeting point between handicraft and mass production into new typologies of products. But let's talk about more later. Then we're curious about art. I don't know if you know it, but every year we do an art event at IKEA. And this year it's going to turn out to be smaller glass figurines actually made out in Sweden. But I have something more cooking for you. And that's a completely new thing that we're letting loose here in Spain for the first time. Great news. We collaborate with one of the biggest and best photography collections, I would say, and also camera makers of the world. The first camera on the move. It's another Swedish company. It's Hasselblad. So we're doing a collection together with Hasselblad from the award series, and Brunius is going to talk a little bit more about that together with me on stage later. But art is an important thing for people at home, and we want to take on art for the future too, to democratize art with the help of IKEA. Fashion. You saw that there is a fast pace to things. People want to change a lot in their homes, and you know, where does this pace come from? It comes a lot from fashion. So we've been curious around fashion for quite a while right now. What could we learn from fashion into IKEA? Home furnishing is kind of slow. Could we make that more interesting and also learn from the ways that the fashion industry are telling stories and reinventing themselves for every season? Is there something to learn within IKEA? And we are working together with Krista and Maya Ganchek on a collection that you can see behind here, which is actually about street art and street fashion, bringing that into the context of IKEA. For the first time, we've done like a skateboard together, which is, I'm really happy to say, this is IKEA, first IKEA skateboard. I used to be a skateboarder. Might not look like that, but yeah, it was a couple of kilos ago. Then, Bea Åkerlund, another collection coming up. A famous Swedish stylist, worked with Lady Gaga, Madonna, and everyone. She's doing a collection together with us. It's not the ordinary thing that you see at IKEA. It's a way of, you know, pushing ourselves into new boundaries also. Virgil Abloh. This is an ongoing collaboration that we do right now, both for an art event. We actually brought one of the carpets done by him here, and for a total collection for the future around dorm living, living together as students. How could you take on that? It's most often the first own home that you have. Then we're curious about music, because music is important to people. Both home visits yesterday, music to them was extremely important. And you know, the way that they took it on also, together with everybody living there in the housing, you know, having those parties and how loud are you supposed to play? Do you know your neighbors or do you not know your neighbors? If you're into music, you have to know your neighbors. Otherwise, you will make not so many friends. So IKEA, we're taking on music in a big way because it's important to people in their homes. We're actually doing a couple of things. This is a party collection that we do together with Teenage Engineering, which usually is doing synthesizers for musicians. And it's lighting units that are listening to music. It's a parkas, you know, and the famous IKEA bag done in Tyvek, which is like a paper material, looking extremely spacey if we're going to festivals. You can see them over here there. It's really nice pieces, actually. Then, as you all know, we have started up a collaboration together with Sonos. And I think this summer we're going to show off the first offsprings of this collaboration too. This is the biggest brand for Wi-Fi speakers that we do together. So, that's things that we've already done or are doing. What about tomorrow? What's going to happen? I don't know. But one thing that we're really curious about right now is job making. Of course, we're looking into sustainability, circularity, we're looking into a lot of things. But one of the things that might not be so much of in the future, if we don't take care of it, if we don't design for a new world, is actually jobs. So how could we at IKEA help out to make more jobs in the future in the way that we design our stuff? Here's just a small excursion. It's a collection done together with the IKEA designers, actually in Jordan, with Syrian refugees that is coming up right now, where we help out to set up production lines in Jordan to make it possible to actually produce and design in the refugee camps. This is something that we want to ramp up, but we also want to do job making in a larger scale in other places. So you're going to see more of that. We're also curious about something we call off the grid. Why? 2 billion people around the world don't actually have access to electricity, communication, and water. That's quite a lot. And within big cities, and also, you know, more like the western part of the world, there's more and more people who choose to be off the grid. It doesn't want to be on the grid anymore. They want to have their own grid. Could we do something about that? And we have actually decided to do that. So we're we did launch half a year ago, a small world tour where we do workshops together with students all around the world on the topic of off the grid, making new ideas on how to solve the problem of off the grid, which is, you know, important to people in this very place. So I think that, you know, for us, it's always important to be democratic about stuff, and we want to use as many as possible. And this time, we're going to use Spain to solve it. And here on the side, you see IED, which is a university, and some great stuff from the students. And I see some of the students here too. Who's going to show off their stuff, but they're not just here to show off what they do and how they think. They're actually here to do a workshop on the topic also tomorrow, which I think you should follow and see that we come up with some great ideas that might happen to be in the IKEA range later. So that's actually the young Spanish designers working together with us. And I think that's all. It's quite a cramped thing, you know. We have so much to show you here, and I would be glad to show you all of the stuff out here too. It's all around us, and it's in the rooms here behind me. If you want to know more about how we do stuff at IKEA, we have something called IKEA.today, which is a website where we are publishing all of our trips we do all around the world, the up-and-coming collections, collaborations, how we work behind the scenes, meet the nerds, and all of that. It's actually, you know, straight from the source of IKEA in Älmhult. So feel free to have a look upon that, and thanks a lot.